caves, carbonic acid in the river, it'll hit a nice sharp corner of the limestone, start to soften it up a little bit, and the pressure of the water will push its way through small cracks and holes, and bada bing. Eventually we have a cave carved out. So keep your eyes out because I will be quizzing you. Remember talking about Tom? Tom jumped down the sinkhole with his flashlight, his camera, and his rope. He actually got up to here and by out of there. As you can see though, from here to there, it's like an Olympic style long jump. So what Tom does is he kind of goes over to here, where this little plateau is, jumps across, and lands somewhere right over here in water. There's still a delicate ecosystem, a delicate balance. Even just by lighting it up so we can see, things start to grow, thousands of little organisms. And this is what we have very creatively called the stalactite room. We're very artistic with our names, considering it's a room full of stalactites. I've heard them called rocksicles or cave icicles, and you can see why. They're actually formed by all the natural spring water coming through these walls. So there's condensation on the walls, or what looks like it. It's not condensation, it's not water coming from the air. The water's coming from natural springs all underground, and it's dripping through little tiny holes and pores that are in the limestone. It's not really as solid as you think. And when the water comes through there, it brings with it a whole bunch of a mineral called calcite and a whole bunch of sand. Now, let me see. You sure? Live. So if you're up for it, I recommend you go in and see where it takes you.
Did you bring your willies?
No. I should have. But he does work well.
Oh, an official legally ordained spelunker because you went through a cave without a guide. Congratulations, trust me, it's impressive. So here's Tom squeezing this half-full flimsy rubber raft down all these sharp rocks. Eventually he does get it out to here, and miraculously it still floats, throws it in the water, jumps in himself with camera and flashlight in hand. Also, double checks his lifeline, very important. Make sure the rope around his waist is still securely tied. Also gives it a yank from behind to make sure it's still attached to that flimsy wet piece of wood, so you know he's still relatively safe. Now when he lets go of the walls, the current so there's more places for them to grab onto. Now the northern long-eared and the little brown, they're basically the same. As you can see, there's not a lot of difference between them. You can't really tell which one's which. They both, despite their size though, eat about 600 bugs in an hour when they're out feeding. These little guys eat about 2/3 to 3/4 of their own body weight every single night for 3 months. So if you don't like bugs, you do like bats, trust me, even if you don't.
So that's your advantage of being tall, you can just get right up there.
No, if they wake up, it's on their own personal accord. The only way.
Well, I can't do that.
Which is in the middle of the whirlpool, our most powerful one by the way, with no quick way out of it. That gave the whirlpool some time to catch his boat, take him for a little ride around the room, and smack him off this wall over here. He took a nasty bump to the head, and he also lost his balance. And if he would have fallen in the water at this point, we would have never heard of him, but he did kind of save his life by dropping what he had in his hand and grabbing onto that wall. So when it dropped though, it hit the side of his boat, bounced into the water, and disappeared forever. And if you remember what he had with him, he had a camera and a flashlight. Which one did you?
I want to take it back.
Years, these walls have remained unmoved and untouched. They've stayed exactly the same way they did naturally. And we know that for 2 reasons. One reason is this above me, this place where it's nice and warm to hibernate the winter, and with the back door sealed off, we provide that. Take your pictures. You might see some problems in here. Here's an explanation on my part. These rocks you're seeing here, they fell a very long time ago for a very different reason than anything that we did or anything that happened in an earthquake. What happened here was that these were part of the ceiling at one point, and at one point they were actually held up there by a round pillar of stone as opposed to the floor. I have a rhyme to remember which one is which, but it's a little bit dirty, so I'll hold off on that one right now. As you can assume, stalactite humor kind of door, a whole bunch of hoses running down here in the water, and you can also see the top of the ceiling. That's what used to be on for like 57 years, ever since I was 35, so I really don't notice the difference. Your chest are more aggressive, they're like right at my face level, they're just hissing at me when they basically consists of the small amount of flies that are in here, the spiders, the frogs, the bats, and that's about it. And then you have your microbacteria like the plants and stuff.